Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Stylist Meets Vinyl. My name is Chris. Today I've got some juicy flea market finds for you. Now I live in kind of a remote area of my province. I live about 400 kilometers north of Toronto, and there's only one record store in my town or in the city next to where I live. And there's about two other record stores about an hour away from where I live. And so with those three, not a ton of selection. It's kind of tough to get out to them. So I try to be a bit savvy with my record collecting and try to check out some flea markets, thrift stores, yard sales, that sort of thing. And I did a record show a few months ago, back in, I think it was April, and one of the people who watched the video commented, and we got in conversation and realized that we were local to each other. He was at the same record show that I was, and so through this viewer, he told me about a really cool flea market that is about 30 minutes east of where I live. And so Matt, if you're watching this, shout out to you. Thank you for telling me about the great Northern Flea Market. I hadn't checked it out until this weekend. I was passing through and I told my girlfriend we got to stop in and dedicate some time to looking for records. And I'm really glad that I did. There were a lot of booths there, a fair amount of records at several of the booths. And you know, with flea markets and thrift stores and yard sales, you never really know what to expect as far as pricing and quality goes of records. I think people hear that records are making a comeback, so they feel like it's okay to price a record at an exorbitantly high amount just because it's a familiar artist, you know, regardless of the condition. Just because, so for instance, I saw at one of these booths the Rolling Stones album, I think it's from 1967, Their Satanic Majesty's Request was there. Great album, great psychedelic effort by the Stones. And I saw it was priced for $20. I looked at it, the cover, the jacket was beat up, split, seam splits all over the place. You pull the vinyl out, it's scuffed to no end. And I'm thinking, how on earth, just because this is a Rolling Stones album, the vendor thinks it's okay to price it at $20, whereas there's little consideration for the actual quality and actual condition of the album, where in that case the price should be going down. So that's just a little aside to the whole thing, that you never really know what you're going to get as far as condition. But there were a lot of records at this flea market. I flipped through about every single record in the building, and it took me about two and a half hours, and I came out with some pretty good things, actually. I'm pretty excited about this small little haul that I got. So let's just go right into it. Enough talking. Let's go. Okay, so first one is U2, The Joshua Tree. This is from 1987. This is their fourth album. This is a fantastic album. Start to finish, there's not a bad song on here. The you know, a lot of people will recognize the first two tracks, Where the Streets Have No Name, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You, Bullet the Blue Sky. Oh my gosh, side 2 starts with Red Hill Mining Town, It God's Country, One Tree Hill. It goes on and on. This is a fantastic album. It's kind of quietly been on my list for a little while. I've just kind of had my eyes out for it. I saw a really bad copy at my local shop. It was priced for like $7. It had a huge scratch in it. And so I got a pretty good deal on this one. It comes with the original sleeve and liner notes with lyrics as well on here. So pictures, liner notes, sleeves, and lyrics. So I was quite happy to have this. Can't wait to clean it up and give it a spin. U2, Joshua Tree. That was find number 1. The next up is Wet Dream. This is by Richard Wright. Anyone who doesn't know Richard Wright, he was the keyboardist for Pink Floyd. This album is from 1978. This is his first solo album. So in 1978 would have been after Pink Floyd released Animals, and they were kind of at the top of their game at that point. They had enough recognition amongst the band members that they were able to all, well, not all of them. I know David Gilmour and Richard Wright both branched off and released a solo album at that time. They took a little bit of a break, and this is Richard Wright's. Now, David Gilmour's, his was released around the same time as well. I don't have that one. I love Pink Floyd. They are one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band, and this was kind of a blind buy. I don't know any of the tracks off this. I've never heard it before. But I love the contributions that Richard Wright has done to Pink Floyd, especially like songs like Shine On You, Crazy Diamond. Like his work on that is just amazing. That's off of Wish You Were Here. Now, it's kind of ironic because I was reading a little bit about this album, and Richard Wright commented that like he needed to do this album to kind of like refresh his creative juices to be ready for the next Pink Floyd thing. And the next Pink Floyd album after this would have been The Wall, which at that point Roger Waters had mostly all of the creative control over Pink Floyd. He wrote mostly all of the songs. Gilmour co-wrote on a handful of tracks on that double album, and Richard Wright, oh, my light just went out, but I'll keep going. Richard Wright, he didn't write on any of that album. So it's ironic that, yeah, he was kind of juicing up, getting himself ready to go for his next effort. No, I think this is dead. Getting himself to go for the next effort, and he actually, during the Wall sessions, he would be dismissed by Roger Waters, or he left on his own volition. I'm not sure which. And so he was kind of a session, like a session musician. He wasn't actually a band member. And then their next album, The Final Cut, he wasn't on it at all. And then he wouldn't return until A Momentary Lapse of Reason in 1987, and that was after Roger Waters had left completely. So this is, yeah, I'm excited to give this a try and give it a spin. Excited to see what it's like. I think it got kind of mixed reviews, but I think as a Pink Floyd fan, I'm hoping I should really like it. Let me know if anyone has heard that album or has it. Let me know what you guys think about it. Okay, next up is... Okay, so this one is specifically for my friend Rob at Northern Revolutions. He's got a YouTube channel, and Rob is a huge fan of the band, and I kind of told him that I would keep my eye out for any of the band records that I saw. Rob VCLT'd me, so it's called Vinyl Community Love Train. He sent me 2 band albums about a month ago. I made a video for that one, so check that out as well to see what he gave me. And Rob has called this album here, The Last Waltz, the greatest live album ever recorded. And Rob, I'm taking your advice here, and I found this for a really good price. This is in great condition, VG+. The cover is like a little bit of ringwear and maybe a little battered, but it's got a nice little booklet here with some pictures from the show. So this is The Last Waltz. So the band were Bob Dylan's backing band. They went off and did their own thing, and then around this time, which would have been the mid to late 70s, 76 or so, 78, they kind of called it quits, and they held a giant concert with a bunch of guest musicians. Neil Young, Neil Diamond, Joni Mitchell, Ringo Starr, Muddy Waters, I think, was here as well. Eric Clapton, Dr. John, Van Morrison. So it's a huge reunion and a huge collaboration with a bunch of musicians. And as I said, Rob says this is the greatest live album ever recorded. So Rob, I'm banking on you on this one. If I don't like this, it's on you, okay? So really happy to pick that up. Can't wait to clean it up and give it a spin. It's a triple album, got a good price on it, and it's in really good condition. So that is good as well. And last one I picked up, this has been on my list for a while too, and I haven't just found a good copy of it. This is Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. This is from 1978. This is their third album, the last album that they would release with Ronnie James Dio as their vocalist. So I have their second album, Rainbow Rising. I have my eye out for their first one, which is just called Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Richie Blackmore was the guitarist for Deep Purple. He left Deep Purple, and Dio and him formed Rainbow. As I say, this is the last one with Dio on it, but Rainbow would go on to release a bunch more albums throughout the late 70s and 80s. But for my taste, for my concerns, this is the era that I want, the Ronnie James Dio era. So I found this. It's in wonderful condition. This cover is great, like a little bit of corner wear, but the disc itself is like as close to mint as you can get with an album. So yeah, I want to clean it up as well and give it a good clean and give it a spin. But I'm super happy to be adding this. Great price and great condition. Stone cold mint, as you might say. So that's it for my flea market finds. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have any of these albums? What do you have to say about them? Give this video a like, and consider subscribing if you're enjoying the content. And make sure you come right back here where Stylus meets vinyl. Thanks a lot. See ya.